Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the circus. My name, of course, is Nareve, and today we're going to be talking about some gold making techniques that I've discovered over the past little bit. With Legion looming around the corner, I know a lot of people are in that mad dash for some mad dosh, and I just want to really put it out there. Some ways that I'm finding it effective to make money without farming. I'm not a huge fan of the whole concept going out to like Stranglethorn Vale or wherever they tell you to go, sitting there grinding out mobs for 5-6 hours and they guarantee you can make 20k, but we all know that just doesn't work for everyone. Techniques that I've been using are as follows. One, I find it extremely easy to do my raids each week. I have 5 100s that I'm currently rocking, and I will do old content raids, Firelands, Icecrown, Citadel, Trial of the Grand Crusader, all of those, and it seems to be netting me anywhere from 10 to 30,000 gold a week just for those. In fact, I've got this week on Blood Drive here, my main, my rogue. I have got 15,000, and I have only done. Oops, helps to actually hit the right buttons. So I have done Karazhan, the first boss. I only kill a Toonman because I want them out. Tempest Keep, again, only kill Kel'Thas because want them out. Icecrown Citadel, Trial of the Grand Crusader 25, Firelands, and Dragon Soul. And between all those and just killing bosses and selling the epics that I get, not selling any transmogs or anything, I'm up 15,140 gold. And that's pretty great. Of course, I should say, I'm up 5,140 gold, and then I got 10,000 from my other characters doing it. But still, for just that, getting 5,000 gold off of those. For instance, I'll just say this, Trial of the Crusader, really easy to do, takes about 10-15 minutes, and every single time, the lowest I've gotten is 750 gold, most I've gotten is 1,200 gold, just from that one. Now imagine if you do that on, let's say your account is just full of 100s, you do that on 10 100s, that's 10,000, that's between 7,500 and 10,000, well, 12,000 gold. Like, that's a pretty substantial amount. So I will always encourage people, if you have 100s, always do your old raids. The more the better, obviously, but it's a super easy and effective way to make money. Now the other way that I'm noticing that you can make money is playing the auction house, right? That's always been a thing. I would suggest, if you're gonna go with the route of playing the auction house, learn to watch market trends. If you can't and you're not really good at that, there's some add-ons that you can get, such as Auctioneer, those kind of things that will watch. Me personally, in my analytic mind, I find it extremely easy to just watch trends and over 2 or 3 weeks sell stuff. I will say, don't sell stuff on the weekends. That's usually when a lot of players come on and start to sell things, and it floods the market and saturates it and reduces the value of items. Always try to sell things on, like, Mondays are okay, but I always sell on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are my biggest selling days, and that's just because that's when I have the maximum amount of profit, because there are still players looking to buy things, but not as many selling. That leads to my next point, which is never put all your eggs in one basket. If you are watching the auction house, don't just mass buy out one item because you notice that it's at an all-time low, like let's say linen cloth or arcane dust. Old enchanting mats seem to sell really well. Don't ever just mass buy those out and expect to sell them, because you won't. The thing is, you don't want to saturate the market yourself, because 9 times out of 10, before you can sell all those stacks, somebody will undercut you, and you'll just be sitting with stuff in the auction house not selling. Another thing to keep in mind is you don't ever want to look at things as how much gold you're making. You want to look at it as how much profit. Now, what I mean by that is, let's say I buy arcane dust. This is my go-to example. Let's say I buy arcane dust for 50 silver a stack. And of course, this is just an arbitrary number, but let's say 15 silver for a stack of arcane dust. And then 2 weeks later, I'm able to sell that for 2 to 3 gold. Well, it's not that I'm making a gold 50 to 2 gold 50 off of that. It's that I'm making, 200+% on it. And that's incredible. Well, 150+%. And that's really something that I will say, it sounds like it's not that much, but it adds up. And again, when you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, you're getting a wider range and more money that way, because realistically, you're not going to have somebody buying 500 of your stacks of arcane dust, but you might have one person buy 20 stacks of your arcane dust, and then somebody buy some dust or some gems from you, and then some cloth is sold. So since I came back in July, I believe it was July 9th, I have made enough that I have paid for 6 months of WoW, roughly, which I buy them around 38k. And then I've given out quite a bit of money. I did end up buying the Grove Warden mount because I had just come back and my gear is not up to par. And I still have a surplus of 200k. I started at not even 1,000 gold. So I believe my current number is right under 500,000 gold I've made since July. And that's a pretty substantial amount, considering I'm not going out and farming and I'm not relying on professions. That's another big thing with me. I do not like relying on professions. I don't find that to be a viable option for making money. Because of the way that this expansion worked, and to my knowledge the next expansion is going to work, it's just not feasible. They took out most of the enchants, they took out most of the gem slots, they took out a lot of things. With that being said, there are still 2 professions that I find make me a large amount of money. One, enchanting. Obviously, that's my go-to. I'm an enchanter and an engineer on this character, and that's just because that works for me. But enchanters make money because every time you replace a piece of gear, you have to have an enchant. Not every piece of gear is going to have a gem slot, so that's why I go with enchanting. Second one, little known fact, is blacksmithing. Right, so my warrior is a blacksmith, and that's just because you can sell these weapons for Transmog. Old weapon from last expansion, Lionheart, and it is selling. It takes 5 days, maybe about 1,000 gold if you buy the materials yourself, and you can sell it for 10,000 gold for the 5-day version. Now, obviously people want the higher versions, which requires the lower version. I'm not going to get into that. If you know how to do it, you know. If you don't, I will make another video if you want. But what I'm saying is, they're not buying gear, they're buying Transmog, which leads to the last big moneymaker for me. I find a bulk of my money comes from Transmog, cosmetic items, and pets. Great example, I like to run Throne of Thunder because Horadon has a chance to drop this Pygmy Dire Horn. It's always really expensive, and that's because people don't run old content anymore. They still want the pets, so you get like the Gooey Shawling, the Pygmy Dire Horns. 2 weeks ago I sold a Pygmy Dire Horn for 20,000 gold. So as you can see, like there's potential, a large potential for profit. And the last item that I mentioned in there is Transmog. Everybody likes cosmetic items, right? Everybody wants that unique look. I like to pride myself on the ability to do that. And so you can really sell the Transmog items, but that's a niche market, and it's very difficult to actually effectively sell them if you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you're looking for. That's where those guides come in that are like, oh, if you get this Transmog, you can sell it for insane. Like, I went out to Duskwood and was trying to farm out. There's some ghouls that you can pickpocket there, and they have a chance to drop, I believe it's called the Black Venom Blade, and that thing sells for ridiculous money, but it's a really low chance, and that's what it comes down to, is it's luck. It's all RNG making that money. The ways that I'm proposing is a sustained, guaranteed amount of money each week. The range is less, obviously, but it's guaranteed. You're getting liquid assets rather than just having all this stuff that you have to be reliant on selling. Now, I know that sounds contradictory, considering I was just saying playing the auction house is a really good way to make money, but those are guaranteed to sell items. Those are items that always sell. Those are enchanting mats. Those are cloth, things like that that people use for professions, not Transmog. And that's really the big difference here. I will say another viable way that I've noticed making money is out in Vale of Eternal Blossom. There are some of these right here, these Sky Shards. You use them to summon Alani mount. With the new update, you can now take Alani and get a full group, and everybody in the group gets the mount. So instead of selling it to one person for 20k, you're selling it to 4 other people for 10k, making more money. So that's recently been something that I've been pretty interested in. I did get all 8 of these in one day. It took me about 4 hours of farming, so I was averaging 2 an hour, which is pretty nice, but it comes down to I don't enjoy farming. It is tedious and annoying. I enjoy running around. And especially with how many people are out there doing that, it's viable, but it's also difficult to do. Anyway, I hope that this video helps you. If you like the video, go ahead and give me a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below what it is that you want to see, and perhaps I'll do that. And you guys have a great day.